All right, so I'm returning to work on my daughter's car. The last thing I figured out about this, and I don't know if I made a video on it or not, is 12 volts was not getting to, this is a connector for the backstream or downstream sensor, or this connector here, the upstream sensor. It was not getting voltage. It was reading 2.5 volts, so that's just a floating bullshit voltage. So last time I didn't know any better. I was focusing down here, and if you look at this, there's a fuse for O2 sensor right there. See where my finger is? O2 sensor, and it's this one right here, this blue one. I pulled it, checked it, it was good, and I thought that was the only fuse that there was for this. So I returned today, and I voltaged around, probed around trying to figure out where the wire was broke, because I assumed I had a broken wire. And I pulled this apart, and I never really looked close at it before. I thought this was just relays. I didn't know that there were fuses underneath here. See these fuses? Never saw it. And I have the box here. If you hold it up into the light, it's really dirty. I cleaned it off, and of course the lettering wants to come off when you clean it. But if you look closely, there's a fuse for O2 sensor here as well. Now that fuse was blown. That was the problem. So I've spent days trying to figure this out, and all it was a fuse. Now, I've replaced the fuse. I haven't tested it yet to see if it's going to work. But the fuse is right here, right where my finger is, that one right there. It was blown. It's a 15 amp. It's been replaced. I'm going to slap this back together. I'm going to get my code reader and see what the numbers look like. If the downstream sensor and the front stream sensor are working, I will do the old pull this connector off, which I already have. I'm going to clear it anyway. That clears the long-term fuel trims. So I'll let the engine reset and give me an error code. I'll put that back together. I'll start the engine up. I'll clear the codes again. That will reset it and give it a clean slate. And then hopefully, if everything's working, that'll be it. This will be fixed. Wow. I really thought I was going to be digging even further into this, looking for a broke wire or a bad connector. It's a shame I replaced this connector. The connector that was there was not bad. I also want to tape that up better, so maybe I'll go ahead and do that. So tape that up. I've got the fuse installed already. Then I'll get the code reader, and I will button this up in a minute. So I just did a test drive in this car. Both oxygen sensors are responding. The MAF is responding, but the fuel line or the short-term fuel trims are still 20 to 25% at idle. Driving, they look normal. They go up and down as you would expect, I guess. But I just don't understand why at idle that they're wanting to add a lot of gas. It's running rich at idle. So that's what started this. The MAF sensor looks like it's responding. It might be a little high at idle. Maybe that's a problem. I've got another MAF sensor I could swap out. Maybe I'll try that. But I checked the smog readiness tests, and everything's ready except for catalyst and one other. But the O2 sensors are ready. They pass. So I'm really confused here about this car. I don't know if it's going to pass emissions or not. I'm gonna drive it around just in the neighborhood a little bit more. Not today, I'll do it over a few days and see if I can get all of the readiness checks done for emissions, and if it does, then I'll get it inspected. But yeah, so this fuse that was in the what the hell is it called, the engine room intelligent power distribution module or something like that. That fuse was the problem apparently that I've been fighting with. So if you guys have problems like this, check those fuses first. Don't be a dumbass like me and replace MAFs and oxygen sensors, because you're going to throw $100 at it and it's not going to fix it if it's a fuse. But I do think that at least one of those O2 sensors was bad anyway, so it probably wasn't a complete waste of time and money. All right, anyway, I hope somebody gets some benefit from these videos.